It doesn't matter if you're in the United States, England, Germany, Japan, areas, Africa, South America, it doesn't matter. We are all in the same boat together. The private banking cartel, 6 major super banks, have created Ponzi schemes. They have sold over 1.5 quadrillion, that's 1,500 trillion dollars of fraudulent derivatives, counterfeit instruments, financial instruments of fraud. The IMF and World Bank are their international holding companies. Regionally, we have the private central bank of the U.S., the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England over in England. We have the private central bank in Ireland. It's the same everywhere, except for a few, quote, rogue nations that aren't controlled by this cartel. And those are countries being menaced by the globalist military. They are engineering the total collapse of society. I've been talking about this for 11 years, since they got rid of the Glass-Steagall Act here in the U.S., and simultaneously in other nations got laws passed so they could do this and get away with it. On the way up, with the thousands of trillions that they manufactured out of nothing, they bought up the entire infrastructure, the media, defense contractors, everything. On the way down, they hold populations hostage and say, give us trillions more, or we will implode the economy. That's what happened over 2 years ago in October of 2008. Henry Paulson, Secretary of the Treasury, went and told the House and Senate, there'll be martial law, blood in the streets, total collapse if you don't do what we want. Here we are 2 years later. Europe gave in. Japan gave in. The United States gave in. And now you see Ireland, you see Greece, you see Portugal, Spain, Germany on the edge of collapse. And what do the central bankers say? Give us trillions more, raise your taxes in your countries, cut benefits, and pay almost everything that you raise in taxes to us. But it's mathematically impossible. Listen to me. I've interviewed literally hundreds of top economists on this. This is a fact. It is mathematically impossible to ever pay back the 1.5 quadrillion. That's a conservative number. They know that. And so, look at Ireland. Just a few months ago, they entered the EU. They were told, oh, you're a great economy, it's so wonderful. But under the EU agreement, they're now under the control of those private banks, and suddenly, oh my gosh, your economy's over. You've got to pay 20% of your GDP on top of what you're already paying to offshore banks. The head of their private central bank told the BBC that we want foreign banks to own Ireland. This is a good thing. Irish banks are up for sale. We're going to cut your pension funds. The government forced you to pay in for decades. We're going to cut the veterans' care. We're going to, again, slash road repairs, you name it, but the taxes go up. Everything goes to the private bankers. That's austerity. They cut the budget for the population. See, first they get you dependent on government. This is their system. They grow government. And this has happened all over the world over and over again. The globalists are done gobbling up third world countries. They're moving on to Europe and the United States now. No one is safe. Australia, Canada, you name it. The same system is taking place. That's how we knew what they would do in the West, because we'd seen them do it in the third world. We saw the economic hitmen setting up the same system. This is such important information, and I hope you're listening to me. There is no light at the end of the tunnel unless we do not pay these bankers all of this fraudulent debt they've manufactured. If we don't throw these private central banks out of our countries, if we don't return sound monetary policy controlled by our Congress and parliaments. This is designed to implode economies and transfer all wealth to them. That's why, whether it's Europe or the United States or any other country or region they control, the central banks and the private banks are making record profits in the trillions, billions in individual bonuses in many cases. Pension. Shearing phase. In other words, they'll go after fire sale, buying up our companies as bad and our do not owe it. But the banks in the last 100 years aren't owners for their banks. Did you just hear me? This is treason. It's the same thing here. This is a global government, a private corporate global government. taking over every major society with the same formula. It is fraudulent, and it must be resisted, or we have no future. We cannot allow this new dark age to begin. These central banks openly wage war against the real economy. They openly are the biggest funders, Goldman Sachs and others, of the fake environmental movement to shut off our energy. They are waging war against the real economy. They want an austerity, a neo-feudalistic serfdom to control you and your family. So you're so poor, you can't resist them. This is their answer to the Renaissance. This is their answer to human liberty, is this modern form of mercantilism that's meant to consolidate power. Austerity,